You've probably spent time researching RIDGID Tools. You've probably heard about their Lifetime Service Agreement. According to RIDGID, they can provide free parts, free service, and even free battery replacements for life. Sounds amazing, but then you go online. One person says it's the best warranty in the tool industry, and the other says it's a complete nightmare. So what's the truth? Over the last several years, I've bought RIDGID tools, registered them under the LSA, replaced batteries, dealt with repairs, and experienced the process firsthand. Today I'm going to share with you the good, the bad, and things no one tells you before buying into the RIDGID platform.
Hello, my name is Dan Shannon. I'm a DIYer and a woodworking hobbyist who loves being out in the shop. On this channel, I share tool reviews and shop projects for DIYers, homeowners, and hobbyists. If this grabs you by the tool belt, consider subscribing for more videos like this.
Hello and welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Dan Shannon and this is Shop Talk with Dan the Man. On this channel we talk tools, woodworking, DIY projects, and honest reviews from our real hobby shop. Now before we start, this video is not sponsored by RIDGID. Everything I'm sharing from you today comes from my own experience after years of owning RIDGID tools and actually using the Lifetime Service Agreement. And trust me, some of the things I've learned really surprised me. So what is LSA, or what does that mean? So what the LSA actually means. One of the biggest misconceptions is that the LSA is a lifetime warranty. It's not. And there's a difference. So a standard warranty from pretty much all other brands and manufacturers cover defects. So the LSA adds benefits like service, replacement parts, battery replacement, as long as your tool qualifies and you follow the registration requirements. The last part is extremely important. The part no one reads. Here's the first truth about the LSA. Most people start long before someone files a claim. They start when the tool is purchased. I know it's boring. No one enjoys registering products, but with RIDGID, registration matters. So you need the receipt, the model number, the serial number, the proper registration within the required time frame. So you have 90 days from the date of sale. Miss these steps and you may have problems later on. I've seen countless comments online of people who thought they were covered, but they never completed that process properly. The LSA isn't a program you can ignore until something breaks. You have to deal with it when you first get your tool. Make sure you go through the steps, make sure it's in properly. My battery replacement story. So I'm going to tell you a story about how I had my batteries fail and how I got the replacement. My battery replacement story. For years, I wondered if I would actually ever use the LSA. Then one of my batteries started having issues. This was the moment of truth. Would RIDGID actually stand behind the program? I submitted the claim, provided the information they requested, waited for a response. Eventually, the claim was approved. So how my replacement battery went was I had some of the older style. So you guys know the ones I'm talking about with the rubber on the base. This is just an example. This is not the actual replacement. This is the 4 amp hour. I had the 2. So what they did was took my information, logged into RIDGID, made sure that everything, all the paperwork was done correctly, serial number, model number. They scanned that on the back. They looked at the information. You see here, there's my model number, serial information. So they looked at that. They compared the notes with online. They sent it off and it was approved because I went through and did all the steps properly. So I have 2 brand new batteries that came in the mail. It didn't show up to my house in my particular case because I dealt with the service center. It showed up at the service center. So they called me. It was about, I want to say a week and a half later, I got my batteries in the mail. So that was pretty cool. Brought my battery in, they looked at it, and I got my 2 new batteries in the mail. So it did work. I did go through the process. I did contact the service department, and they set me up. Now I do realize there's other ways of doing the exact same thing. You go online in the States, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but I believe there's an even faster way. They send you a box, you contact RIDGID, talk to them on the phone, they do some troubleshooting, put your old batteries in a box, you send them off, and then they send you either one that's fixed or a replacement in the mail once they do all their checking. So I think that's how it works in the States. Like I said, put in the comments below, correct me if I'm wrong, but I can just tell you my process. So it wasn't just a marketing promise. I actually got batteries out of the situation. I've also dealt with RIDGID's repair process. In my experience, the service center I worked with was excellent, top notch. The communication was good, the process was straightforward, and the repair was handled professionally. Now I understand not all service centers will be identical, but what I'm sharing is what happened in my case. And overall, it was a positive experience. So what happened in my case was there was a pump issue. So it was actually my father-in-law. I have the exact same pump. And the hose on the end of it, there's a connector, and that is connected to your, whether it's a tire, whether it's an inflatable ball, anything, you have your connection on the end. Well, after a while, this connector would no longer connect to the fill stem. So it was broken. So he went to the repair store. We were actually there together, and they brought up his information. I actually helped him register his tool on his own account. They went online, found the tool. They said because this hose is all connected to the inside, you can't replace just the tip. Pull this off and put a new one in. So what we're gonna have to do is do a full replacement. So they got a hold of RIDGID, said this is what's going on with the pump. The end is not working. They said, yep, no problem, we'll send you a new one. So I believe it was close to 3 weeks, and then he had a brand new one show up at that service center. So we just went back in, picked up the pump, and then we re-registered this product again to get another LSA. So each time you have a product, and I do want to mention that actually with the batteries as well, each time you get a new one, so whether it's a battery, whether it's a tool, and you need to go online to re-register that. And they made that very clear at the repair store that the new one was no longer covered. It had to be re-registered under its own serial, under its own VIN, everything else. Same with the batteries. Don't just say, okay, well, RIDGID clearly knew I did the LSA, they gave me batteries, all set. No, these are different serial numbers, so they have to be registered by themselves to get the extended LSA on these batteries. So that was my experience with the tool repair. What I don't like about the LSA. Now let's talk about the negatives, because no program is perfect. First, the registration process feels a little bit more complicated than it should. So if you're older, my dad, for example, there's a lot of different things. He's like, I don't do the online thing, so now I got to send it in the mail. Got to make sure you have the proof of everything, the serial number, all that. So there is a bit of concern with the registration process. It seems a little bit more in depth. I helped my father-in-law as well. He didn't know what to do with the online, so I set it all up for him. If you have someone in the family that can help with that process, it would make it way smoother on your family member. And the documentation, at the end of the day, matters. You need to be organized. So that's the other thing. You need to have everything available. If they ask you for the paperwork, it even says on their website, you have to bring that. So that's receipts, that's the all the products. So if this had attachments and everything else, you want to make sure that it's all there. Also the charger for this. So if you get a tool and it has a +1 or it has a battery and a charger, you got to make sure that you still have the charger and battery that goes with the unit, because they're going to want to troubleshoot everything. So the tool, the battery, everything that you got with it, to make sure it's not a complication between the battery and the charger, or tool and the battery, so on and so forth. So there is some things you need to stay organized with that. And the third thing is your patience. Your patience is required to go through this whole process. Claims do not happen overnight, and sometimes people expect instant results, but that's not realistic. The LSA works, but it's not magic. So basically, you're going to submit your tool. If you're a contractor, this might be a little bit of a frustration, because once you bring your tool in, the repair could take up to a month. So you're down this particular tool for the whole month, but that's the negative. But when it comes to the LSA, it actually works. So you have to realize you're not going to get it instant. You're not going to put the tool in one day and get a brand new one the next day. That's not how that works. They have to process everything. They have to ship everything. So when it comes to their tools, their batteries, there is a window of downtime between when you register, bring the tool in, and then get the tool in the mail as a replacement. Why do people disagree about the LSA? After years of watching discussions online, I think I figured out why opinions are so divided. People often have completely different experiences. Some never register it properly, some lose receipts, some have excellent service centers, and some don't. And because of that, one person ends up loving the program and the other person swears they'll never use it again. So the truth falls somewhere right in the middle. Would I buy RIDGID again? The answer is yes, but maybe not for the reasons you think. I don't buy RIDGID tools because of the LSA. I buy them because I love the tools. The LSA is a bonus at the end of the day. I love the tool. LSA is a bonus. It's an extra peace of mind. It's an additional value, and when it comes to actually needing it, it actually works. That's really all I can ask. So what's the final verdict on all this LSA? It's not perfect. It requires effort. It requires registration. So do it properly, go through the steps. It requires patience. So when your tool fails, bring it in. There is a timeline when you're down a tool. So if you're a contractor, that might be a pain, but most contractors have multiple of tools, whether it's drills, impact saws, so on and so forth. They usually have 2 or 3 just because they have extra people working with them, but you are going to be down that tool. So patience. But based on my experience, it actually works. I've had batteries replaced, I've dealt with repairs, and overall I've had positive results. Would I recommend taking advantage of it? Absolutely. Just don't wait until something breaks to learn how the system works. I'd love to hear your experiences. Have you used the LSA? Put those comments below. So everything I've covered, from the batteries to the tools, the LSA program in general, I get there's lots of variables. There's the repair centers, there's how customer support works, there's the overall registration that's factored in. There's lots of moving parts, and I think what I can say is the people that have issues with the LSA probably haven't done all those things in order. And a lot of times when you first get your tool, and I'll say this from real experience, you get the tool, pull it out of the box, and you're all to the races. You don't think, oh yeah, I got 90 days, I'll get to it. Well, unfortunately, if you let that window pass, you can't go back in and register that tool for the LSA. So chances are what's happened is you either forgot, or one of the steps on the online, you forgot to do it properly, which voided your LSA requirements. So when they contact you for the replacement or the batteries, you have to have everything in order in order to go through that process. Let me know your experience with the LSA. Have you done batteries? Have you brought in tools and had them replaced? And give me your worst case scenarios. Did you have it registered properly and your service center was not a good service center? Or maybe you contacted RIDGID and there was an issue on their end. Please leave those comments below and we'd love to hear from you. And if you're not part of the Shop Talk family and you'd love to be, please click on that subscribe link down below. And don't forget to turn on your notifications to all so you receive all the videos that I have in the next while. If you have it changed to something different, you won't receive any further video updates. Once again, please give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and I will see you on the next one. Have yourself a great day.